Now back to my Mustang. Using my homemade angle finder, the stock steering angle is about 30 degrees. And if you remember, I did a video on how to get a little bit more angle by removing the steering rack limiters, and that got me an extra 9 degrees. But I need more angle for drifting on the track. Right now when I drift, I have very little room for error, and it's super easy to run out of angle and spin. To help you visualize the difference, here's a stock knuckle, and here's the cut knuckle. If you look at where the tie rod attaches on each knuckle, you can see the stock tie rod mount is about 5.5 inches long, while the cut one's about 3.5 inches long. So it's 2.5 inches shorter. And when I push both tie rods the same exact amount, you can see how much more angle the cut knuckle has compared to the stock knuckle. Look at the difference side by side. All of this metal here is cut out, and what that allows is the tire to come in here and not make contact with the control arm. The thing is, we have to cut out the sway bar mount, so we can't run a sway bar. So with all this extra space plus the cut knuckles, we're gonna have a ton of angle on this car. How to remove the lug nuts? It just spins. So a trick is to grab a screwdriver and slide it in the cooling vanes of the brake rotor. Now when you remove the lug nuts holding that wheel adapter on, it doesn't spin and you can get all 5 lug nuts out. With the lug nuts removed, use that screwdriver and help pry that wheel adapter off. Now we are going to be installing a bump steer kit. I'll explain how this works when we install it, but it's going to replace the tie rod end. So we need to loosen up the gem nut first to get the tie rod off. Don't want to loosen this gem nut any more than you have to. Keep it up against the tie rod end because that's going to hold our alignment. Now we're going to remove the tie rod from the knuckle. So unbend the cotter pin and pull it out, unscrew the nut, and the tie rod should come right out. Now we can unscrew the outer tie rod off the inner tie rod. And once we break this free, like that, we can loosen it up the rest of the way. We could come to the top, grab our wrenches, one goes on the nut and the other holds the stud in place as we try to loosen this. And once it's loose, it should loosen the rest of the way by hand, like that. And then we could go back under and completely remove the coilover.